Let me live out my dream. Let me live out this what I intended to be. If you got me, then I can probably see.
All right, check. Y'all tuned in to another episode of the Leading Be Legendary presents the LABL podcast, in which this podcast can be heard on your favorite platforms such as Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Anchor FM, and there's a new one now that's called, well, it's been around for a second. It's called the Podcoin app. You can actually listen to that, and they give you rewards and points, gift cards and everything for so many listens. It's pretty dope. Like if you're a podcast head, or even if you're new to the game, just listening to episodes, why not just get you a couple gift cards, get you an Amazon joint or some Starbucks gift cards or whatever. Just let the points add up. And at the same time, enjoy some episodes, especially the Leading Be Legendary. And not to forget, I'm your host, Nametag Alexander. One thing I want to let y'all know is be sure that you check out the Work, Win, Repeat single that I just dropped. It was on May 24th, all pretty much as a soft release. You can go get that at nametagalexander.com to stream and or download. Make sure you leave your email address on the mailing list. But it's going to also be available on all streaming platforms that you can get, the Apple Music, Spotify, what's another one, Tidal. So, and then Bandcamp, of course, and SoundCloud, the basics pretty much. Also, make sure you get some merch from that same website, also as well at leadingbelegendary.net. Not going to waste too much time with y'all. We're going to get into this new episode, and we're going to introduce my main man, Valid, Detroit's own. Introduce yourself, let the people know what's going on.
Yeah. What up, though, world? What up, though, name tag? It's your homie, the Big Val Boast, the one and only. It's your man's Valid. I'm kicking it with name tag. We about to top it up for those tuning in. I appreciate you. Thank you so much for your time and for lending us an ear. And hopefully we have some conversation here that will entertain y'all for the next 30, 40 minutes or whatever it may be.
Yes, sir. So now the funny thing is, I've been seeing you for like a while, like putting this grassroots level of work, like just on the city's music scene, and it's been for a long time. Now, how do we come across each other? Because if I'm not mistaken, it was at the Berkeley front out there.
Yeah, man,
yeah.
That's. I remember meeting you, yes, sir, right there for the first time. You were rocking the show. I remember Eddie Logic being in there, a couple other cats, and I already knew who you were, man. I just remember hearing your name on a couple different radio outlets. Like I could have sworn, bro, like it was either like JLB or even like one of the pop stations, like 95.5 or some shit.
Probably
like
was
that.
95. Oh shit, 95.5.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, that's when they used to do the when they used to do the joints every damn, what host was that, man? I forget who it was, but this one they was out. Clear Channel was out there like in Farmington, I want to say. I forget the host's name, man, but he used to do a joint. We used to come out there on like a Tuesday, and they would have like an artist feature or whatever from the city. Yeah, damn, that's crazy.
Yes, so I remember vaguely hearing your name. I remember vaguely hearing like, yo, this cat named Name Tag, he's pretty dope. Here 95.5, which was weird because when you thought of 95.5, you thought of like, you know what I'm saying, the more main, like really like top 40 mainstream.
Super mainstream.
Like I never,
exactly.
Yeah, I never even heard of 95.5 ever fucking around with anything local. They were a straight commercial top 40 station. So it was weird. It like stuck out to me. Like, wait, there's a local rapper getting love on 95.5. That's really weird to me, but that's dope. Okay, cool. You know what I'm saying? And but then what was crazy was around that time I met you, I just laid a track for my dude Russell Top, cat out of Dearborn. That was putting together that View from the Top album. And I know he had you on it, Marv, Royce, Kaniva, Swifty. He had who else? Was it Joe Budden or Crooked Eye? I forgot. It was one of the other Slaughterhouse.
He was one of the Slaughterhouse members.
Was on that album. And yeah, bro, crazy shit. And he had me on just the two of us on a track on there as well. And that's kind of how I started, messing with Top. And it was around that time I heard there was an event going on in Berkeley. I was like, well, per usual, I'm going to go, show my face, say what's up, network, enjoy me a dope show, support the cause, and maybe flip a couple CDs on my bag tag. And then
that had to
I
be
saw
some
you were
shit that
there.
Origix and DC put together. It had to be.
Yes, it was.
I think
Yeah.
Berkeley Front, because that's how I got introduced to Berkeley Front, because of them. Yo, that's
it
wild.
had to be them. It had to be them. I do actually remember them now at that show and hosting that show. So you're absolutely correct. And I remember Eddie Logics being there, and I was already messing with him at the time for a couple of years. And
Word.
that's where I met you. I was like, yo, Tag, I saw your stage set. I was like, oh, this is Name Tag. This is my man I've been hearing about. Dope. And
Yo,
I remember
that's
hollering
crazy.
at you like, yo, dog, we're about to be on the same album. And you were like, yo, man, yeah. I
Yeah, the
remember
View
that
from the Top
conversation
joint. Now I
going
remember.
down.
I remember the album cover and everything, because he had me on a joint
Yeah.
called Going. Yeah, I remember that. Dang, that's crazy, man. Good old
Crazy,
fashioned word of
ain't it?
mouth. You know what I'm saying?
Word of mouth shit. Just.
It wasn't even
just
know. Yo, I
people
saw
who
you on
love
the gram.
music, man.
It's just like it was. I heard. It was, yo,
Social
that's dope.
media at that time was still like kind of slowly coming around. Like, I mean, it was.
It
out
might
there.
have been like
People
Twitter.
already had Twitter and
Yeah.
Facebook, but that was it. There was no gram. There was no, to my knowledge, there was no SoundCloud at that time. Bandcamp, maybe.
Bandcamp
I don't
was
even.
kind of fresh.
Kind
Depending
of
on
fresh
the year,
at that time.
it might have
that
because that might have been like 2011.
2012.
2012, okay.
2012. So,
Oh, that's crazy.
ain't it? That's some crazy shit, my G.
Nah, this
Now,
album,
what was popping at that time was that Piff, thatpiff.com.
Yeah.
Right? You would like
Oh, yeah,
upload
for
your
sure.
shit to get people to hear it.
Yeah, because around that time I was probably like putting out one of them classic Cadence mixtapes. Yup.
There you go.
Man, that's ill, man. Time just be flying. This album cover art that you got here, I like how it's the like on the front cover it's you as a child, of course. You got the gold rope on, but then in the inside of it is you like just paying homage to that. What brought that concept about?
It's kind of funny you say that. It was kind of crazy. I always knew. So peep this, man. This is like this album. I've worked on it for almost 2 years with DJ Head and Pigpen and Tony Rizzo. But this album in my mind has existed since the day I fucking hit these streets, bro, and started like trying to do what I wanted to do since I was a kid. But I always knew, man, I was always aware of my level of my merit as an MC and craftsmanship in music. I always saved this picture for this album. Now I never knew I was gonna actually name an album my real name, Mihajlo. But I always knew that this picture would end up becoming an album cover for me. And I always knew, I'm like, if you're gonna use that picture, because this picture is so dope, so powerful, I guess in a sense, like, and what by powerful I mean like when motherfucker sees it, it's gonna get their attention. You know what I'm saying?
It looked like rebellious.
Exactly,
it
like
rebellious
it's dope,
to me.
big chain, grabbing my crotch. I'm only 2 or 3 years old in the picture, and I do like it's stunning in a way. Like boom, it'll hit. You know what I'm saying? It'll catch excitement. So I always just kind of say this picture to when I felt as an artist that my craftsmanship, whether it be flows, cadence, rhymes, also production, the people I was working with, that I was at a level where I was surrounded by the best possible people I could be surrounded by in the studio, and I finally felt sharp enough to drop an album of this magnitude. And I'm not patting myself on the back. I'm not saying I made the greatest album ever, but I just feel like, okay,
you know that dedication, that gut feeling, that fire actually inside. Like, this is it right here.
Yes, like every project I've dropped till now was practice to get to this project. And so this is like what I feel is my rookie card. I've dropped so many mixtapes and EPs and even albums, but I always felt that these are stepping stones to get me to this project. This is my Illmatic. This is my, you know what I'm saying, Ready to Die. Like, that's how we felt when we were making it. And I almost kind of regret not having like a camera crew filming and documenting the creation of it. But at the same time, you can go on my Instagram and scroll back and be like,
yeah, I was about to say, with social media now, you can kind of like see the process.
Everything's documented in a sense.
It's interesting that you say that too, about like how this is your best album of all the projects you put out. And the funny thing is, I think that's how it's supposed to be. Like, a lot of artists, we get so many artists where people say that their first album was their best album, right? And then after that, it's kind of like, oh yeah, that one was cool, or this one is hard, or no, this one is better than that one, but it usually always tracks back to the first. And I really think, like, as you make albums, that middle album, or even like whichever one you feel like, oh, this is going to be my last one, those should be the ones that are like better, because you're supposed to get better. You know what I'm saying?
It should always get better, each one. And even now I feel like that. Now I feel like this is my rookie year all over again. And that sounds so crazy, because you just said you've been seeing me around for years. I feel this is my rookie year in the NBA. I've been in the NCAA. I've been killing it in high school, but I knew I wasn't good enough to play on the pro level yet. Now I feel like I just got drafted to the NBA with this project. But to answer your question, yeah, bro, that's how I really feel. And it's time people feel like you can't think about it that way, because it's not like you drop demos, local demos, and then you get signed to a major label and you have your first real, professionally done studio album.
Right.
Nowadays, everything is the same. Whether you or me or Jay-Z drop an album, it's all the same shit. You just make it, you create it, and you put it out there for the whole world to see. But I still feel that way. I still feel that old school type of, like, man, everything up until this point was practice. And maybe one day I'm going to feel that way about this album. Maybe my next album I'm going to feel like, I always want to feel like my newest shit is the greatest shit that I did, or there's no making. If you can't top your last shit, don't even try.
Because it's like, at the end of the day, you're really supposed to be in competition with yourself when it really boils down to it.
And that's the way I always looked at it. But to answer your question on topic was, we were looking at the picture, my homeboy Paulie, who's been holding me down for years, dope photographer. He shot for a lot of different artists, done artwork for a few different artists, and he's really into photography. He's been doing my artwork, logos, and shit like that for years. Him and Cliff Note. Those are my go-to guys when it comes to pictures and logos and visuals. He was at my crib, and we were like, all right, man, here's what we want to do. Let's look at some fonts. I go, the album cover's already there. You know what I'm saying? We don't need to do that from scratch. But what are we going to put on the cover of the CD? What are we going to put on the cover of the vinyl? And et cetera. And when you open it, like you said, you see me in the same outfit as a kid, but now I'm a grown man. It hit us fire. Yeah, dog. And we were coming up with a couple of different ideas, and all of a sudden, I swear to God, bro, it was the grace of God. It was something in the air. We both had this heavy gasp, and we're like, I got an idea. We both said it at the same time. Like, what if you open it and it's me as an adult, and the idea came
wearing the same gold rope chain and everything.
Bro, it scared us how we had the same exact idea at the same exact time to do it, where you open it and it's like a continuation of what you're looking at.
That's when you know, and everybody kind of on board, this is what we got to go with. We all agreeing. We all know it's fire. Everybody excited about it. This is the one we going with. No changes, no last minute.
Yes, bro. It was like, boom, we already know it. Bam, set up the photo shoot for a day later at his crib, where he had a beige wall that's similar to the one in the picture of me as a kid. And I went to the mall, had to buy me a navy blue sweater like that with a shirt that you don't see in the picture, but I wear white button under the blue sweater like I'm from Carlton Banks, and that's what it was, man. And it was so perfect. I almost got chills when we had that idea, because that's the concept of the album. You know what I'm saying? I don't know if you listen to the whole thing or not. It's loosely based on some time travel shit, where, you know what I'm saying, at different points in my life, I'm going back in time talking to myself. And it was just that's
if I look at it, so if I look at it, it kind of goes from when you were a child up into more so adulthood now, because I noticed just based on the track list, and what's the joint where you got the video that Diego shot, and it's you on the bike. It's called what's it? I got the track list in front of me.
Street Boy.
Yeah. Okay, Street Boy. And I'm looking at that. That's earlier in the album, so I think it makes sense now with you saying this was basically a time hop with me going from my earlier stages of me You know, just I don't
Yeah,
know per se
man.
like from an MC up until now or just life in general.
Life in general, and being an MC is a part of that. So it's loosely based. It's not like a Kendrick Lamar album. In track one, I'm not gonna, it's kind of like a movie, so I'm not gonna spoil it too much for those that didn't hear
Right.
it, but it's not a big deal. In track one, I'm going back in time, produced by my dog, EKT. I'm going back in time, talking to myself so I'm like the 30-year-old current me. I'm going back and I'm talking to myself as a 4 or 5-year-old kid that you kind of see on the cover, and just kind of warning him of the things that are going to come to life and this, that, and the third, and yada, yada, yada. And so then in track two, in Street Boy, it's not a specific, exact correlating with the next chapter of my life, but again, on some loosely based time travel shit, I'm telling the listener who I am, where I'm from, what kind of my childhood was like, what my teenage years were like, and why I am the way I am now when it comes to hip hop and hip hop music and kind of urban inner city street culture. Like, how did I end up this way that I am? That's what Street Boy is. So it's still like a time travel joint, but it's not an exact continuation of the intro. It's just approaching the time travel concept a little differently, kind of giving you my biography from beginning to now type shit.
Okay. Dope. So we talking about just the whole thing with just the time, time traveling or whatever. And I noticed that this was something that you put on Instagram, and it was about the calendar. You had a calendar up, just basically breaking down your plan of action. You didn't go into detail about it, but you said you started it of last year around Thanksgiving, 2018.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Explain
yes, sir.
to artists how important that is to have some type of plan of action, like literally having a calendar or a whiteboard to go off of to really just follow through on something. Explain the importance of that and why you did it.
Here's why I did it. I'm a one-man show, Tag. You know what I'm saying? Honestly, I don't have a label. I don't have a manager. I don't have a publicist. At most, I got a couple friends that can help me out when I call them. Like, yo, man, I'm shooting this video. Can you help and pick this person up? I got a couple people like that I always, thank God for, that can kind of help me out. But truthfully, bro, I'm the record label. I'm the manager. I'm the musician. I'm everything.
Listen, I can relate. I can relate.
You know what I'm saying? So as you already know, so my thing is, it's impossible for me to remember. We all we all end up going to the grave with a million great ideas in our head. There's a one thing of having a great idea and then executing them. Example. Oh, okay, you want to shoot a video? Cool. Okay, people say, yeah, I love how some people act like it's so easy. Like, yeah, man, we'll just do this and we'll do that and da, 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 da. Okay, but do you know how many to-do list tasks you just opened up with each one of those things you just said? In order to have a video with the concept you just had, okay, you're going to need a location. You got to lock that down. Let me tell you how many steps it comes just to lock down the location. Okay, now you got to call these different people. Oh, now you got to wait for them to call you back. Like, everything takes a million steps total. You know what I'm saying? Oh, you need some people to play this, that, and the third in the video? Well, now you gotta, it's not simple. It's simple as the old saying goes, it's easier said than done. Oh yeah, we're going to shoot this video. Oh, okay, you're going to get this album artwork. Oh, you want it to open up and it's a grown adult, you, on the CD and on the label of the vinyl. Okay, well guess what? Now you got to find time to go to the mall and buy that exact type of sweater. Oh, you got to make sure your clothes are ready. Oh, you got to make sure you hit the barber shop for that photo shoot. Like, it's a million thousand, like it never ends. Like, in order to do one thing done, it's really a million smaller steps that you got to do to get this one thing done. And that one thing is just one thing of an even bigger picture. You get what I'm saying? So it's like, I need that calendar, bro. It's impossible for me to remember all of this because, like I said, bro, to accomplish one thing is really just an accumulation of smaller accomplishments that add up to that one thing. So, Yeah, man, it was around Thanksgiving. I sat down and said, okay, I'm gonna drop this video. I want this to be the single. I want that to be okay. So again, that means this song, even if the album's not done, at least that one song has to be mixed and mastered to perfection by this day. All right, cool. You have to have a meeting with Diego. All right, cool. Now, that meeting, you check that meeting off, but that meeting is one checkbox on your to-do list.
That just added more shit to it.
That just turned into 9. Because now Diego says, all right, I'm going to need this, that, and the third to shoot this. Well, this, that, and the third just became this, that, and the third to do things on my to-do list. Like, so I just need that calendar, man, and it's just a way of like, okay, you want to drop this album by then? You got to be smart, man. You got to think analytical. Well, then the record press is going to need your artwork and master copy of the album X amount of time ahead of that date. And you don't want to plan on having the album in your hands on that day. You want to at least, because you want to play things safe just in case some shit gets fucked up.
Exactly.
You should aim on having the final product in your hand a week at least, maybe 2 weeks before the release date, before the release party. So that means you got to call your boy Paulie and tell him, look, I don't know what you got going on in life, but we need to do this photo shoot the latest by then. And this artwork needs to be done by then, which means I got to pick you up tomorrow from your crib. We got to go shoot these pictures. So it's a never-ending thing, man. And
that is work. It's really work,
it's
man.
Work,
like,
bro.
We talk about this all the time, like me and my peoples. Like we was just talking about it in the last podcast about how like people, man, you tell them you're an artist sometimes, they kind of downplay it and make it seem like you just do it, it's fun, and it's like, no, this is still work.
Bro.
This ain't no easy shit. Like, what you mean?
My 9 to, you know what I'm saying? Bro, I've had 1 million 9 to 5s in my life. And I clock in and you clock out and you ain't got to think about it. This, bro, it's haunting you. It
might
hovers
lose
over
sleep.
you 24/7. You know what I'm saying? You ask my man Paul, he knows all about it. The dude who does all my artwork and shit, he'll tell you all about the grind that Valid puts in. Like the strategic planning of some other shit I did, man, when it comes to that schedule. I started like looking at different artists and the way they rolled their album out. So I would look at Drake and the way he rolled out, what was the name of his last album? Scorpion. And I started looking at certain dates. And I would go on Wikipedia and be like, okay, God's Plan dropped on this day. The video dropped on this day. All right. And then the next single dropped on this day. And then the next single, and I would look at the time, like between the way they would drop shit. And then I would look at like, okay, so he dropped X amount of singles before the album dropped, with this much time approximately usually between the singles, and then the album dropped, and then the first single after the album was already out, like the video would drop. So I would like use him as a reference, and then I would look at
that's a perfect reference though too.
That's a perfect. But then I also understand he's a huge pop artist. You get what I'm saying? So maybe comparing my schedule to his schedule is not the best thing. So I was like, let me look at something a little bit different. Let me look at like the way an album from R.A. to Rugged Man gets rolled out, or maybe like Sean Price, and compare the schedules and see how different or how similar a underground boom bap hip hop artist or somebody whose numbers maybe are not as big. This guy's not a pop culture icon, but he's still doing it big in my eyes. Like he's still somewhere I want to be. Like, you know what I'm saying? I would love to be where Talib Kweli is at, or where a Guilty Simpson is at, or God bless his soul, where Sean Price was at, before he left us. So like I would look at these guys and look at their blueprints and be like, let me see how different or how similar it is to like Drake's. Like, let me see how motherfuckers who really live off this shit do this shit and study that shit.
Off of it.
Exactly. And then I would put it on my schedule. You know what I'm saying? I would use those references and put it on my schedule and be like, all right, you want to roll this album out just like you were on Def Jam, just like you were Logic, or just like you were M, or just like you were, it don't even matter, bro. Sign to Rhyme Sayers or Duck Down or Stone's Throw, then do it. You know, if you want to be big, you got to do shit big. You know, it can't look local. It can't look or you know what I'm saying, low budget.
Because people will know. Like when you put that type of spin behind it, when it's like half-assed, that's exactly the type of response you're gonna get to it. You know what I'm saying?
Hey,
like,
man,
so you definitely got to put the work behind it.
It's you know what, man, and people always will always compliment, man, you one of the hardest working cats, and your grind is impeccable, and I get that all the time, and it's like, honestly, I don't love that part of it though. Like me,
it's like that's what, like listen, like it doesn't, like, it make you want to be like, hey, help me, man, like help me out.
Yeah, like that's cool, but honestly, people say be careful what you wish for. Like, I wish I had a manager. I wish I either had a team big enough and I was making enough money big enough to where I don't have to worry about this kind of stuff. Or maybe I was signed to a Stone's Throw or Duck Down. I just want to focus on the music. But I love my music so much that I'm willing to do all this other music industry bullshit I don't give a fuck about, just so people can hear the fucking music, bro. That's what it comes down to. You know what I'm saying? And take it seriously. And my shit can sit next to Guilty Simpson and whoever else, Black Thought or MF Doom. And my album can come across the people who are digging for their shit and not feel like it's not up to par. Like,
they can look and be like, oh, what is this? Like, what is this? Let me check this out. No, that's just some local shit. Let me put this to the side.
Yeah,
it looks up to par. You can match it up. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly. In order for them to give your music a chance at that level, the presentation has to be the same, bro. You know what I'm saying?
For sure,
absolutely. The artwork, the videos, the rollout, the logo, the interviews you do, and then we'll see where your music lands and how much they like it. But until then, bro, whether right or wrong, that's how we trigger, bro. If some cat just hands me a mixtape on a CD with just his black marker, he might be fucking, I'm saying, like, straight up. But my mind, through no conscious decision of my own, is already telling me, like, I'm not taking it serious. Maybe it may never even get popped into the CD player.
Probably got the best bars, you know what I'm saying, today, probably the next hot thing, but that whole presentation can just fuck it up if it ain't up to par. It's funny that you said that too about the rollout and everything, all that being important, and the music landing, because like we see a lot of shit nowadays, man, where it's like it's so much what we call it clout chasing, so much going on as far as like everybody just trying to have a moment, you know what I'm saying, to be viral, and it's like it don't match up to the music. Like, we get to the music, we're like, oh, that's cool. And there's an exception where it's like you get some like, no, the music is fire too. Like, you know what I'm saying? So it's like that's real important. So imagine how harder artists like us gotta work to make sure the stuff is up to par.
Yeah, this ain't clout
and had a dope music. You know what I'm saying? It's like, I did all that, but look, my music dope too. You know what I'm saying? It's like,
and a lot of that shit, bro. That a lot of this music industry shit. We say it all the time, and it sounds cliche, but fucking mirrors. You know what I'm saying? Like, a lot of people pay to be famous.
Yeah.
Like, they will pay to live their dream. And it's just like, I'm gonna just be, I'm transparent, bro. I'm transparent as fuck. All you motherfuckers listening, or the cats who are listening that are aspiring artists, that whole idea of paying to open up for certain artists, paying to go on a tour, paying to be on a special mixtape, paying to, like, make it look like you're on is bullshit. You know what I'm saying? It's like when you're done paying, nobody's checking for you, bro, because the music didn't resonate, bro. And at the end of the day, I don't give a fuck what nobody says, yo. And look, I pay not to do shit like I just said. Fuck that. I've learned my lesson with that when I was a youngin'. But here's what I can say, bro, and I've learned it especially in the last 6 months. When you do dope shit, motherfuckers will knock on your door. And they'll want to be a part of your brand and what you're doing.
True shit.
You shouldn't have to pay to be on anybody's mixtape. You shouldn't have to pay a DJ or a radio programmer to have your song spun on the radio. But guess what? This is even the game that major labels play. Like when you hear, so-and-so, whatever big artist you want to think of, and their songs getting played on the radio times a day, it's called payola, baby.
Yeah, exactly.
You know what I'm saying? And that'll always go on. And it's the mind fuck. It's the biggest Jedi mind trick. Oh, I'm going to pay the radio or the radio director, maybe not directly because that's illegal. We want to keep our hands clean. This is how major labels work. We're going to pay, maybe we're going to buy the radio and a whole bunch of brand new trucks and studio equipment. All right, cool, thank you, that's a gift. But then that label says, hey, I got my new artist, he just dropped a new single. We think it would be good on your guys' radio station. Wink, wink, wink. All right, so now this is no longer about what the song sounds like. This is no longer the DJs breaking records because they feel you created something real dope that will resonate with their followers. This
wink,
is now,
wink, wink.
Yup, this is now wink, wink, wink. I just bought you 5 trucks with your logo wrapped around the truck, whatever, radiostation.com, blah, 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 blah. And now that DJ is playing that same song 5 times a day. And now the random consumers like, well, this shit's on the radio. This is obviously the shit that's hot because it's on the radio. And they know that song because they hear it all day, every day. But that shit will only get somebody so far opposed to a dope-ass artist who has a dope-ass, honest grind. It resonates and now somebody's checking for them because the music is not because the radio told them it was dope. Because when you stop paying those radio DJs or you stop paying those blogs to post your shit, the listeners were never checking for you in the first place. You see what I'm saying? You never had real fans. You had motherfucker, you was clout chasing and you had clout. But when that clout goes away, the listeners go away. And now you can't drop an album just off of pure music and motherfuckers fuck with it. And it's just, you can pay to be famous for a few days or, you can play it and God willing, you make some dope shit, motherfuckers fuck with you. For real. And they checking for you, not what the radio station is playing.
Yeah, that's definitely some true shit, man. Like, it's almost how we was talking about earlier, like, just stuff just being organic, like, people just gravitating toward it before we started actually recording the episode. But I'm going to close with this topic, too, because you mentioned this, and I really, it's funny because I had no idea that we were, go into that discussion, but it was interesting enough that I said, you know what, fuck it, I'm going to bring this up on the episode. But just it being classic albums, man, like, You said it clear as day that there could not be any more classic albums. Explain your take on that.
So there can't be any classic albums in the sense of what people mean when they say classic. Like the way, you know what I'm saying, the Jordan 1s are classic. The way Illmatic is classic. The way Michael Jackson Thriller is classic. Marvin Gaye, What's Going On is classic. That concept may never exist anymore because of not because the music is not good, not because the music is not of classic value. Oh no, bro, there's a lot of shit getting made that's of classic value, but that's the problem. It's so much shit where what year did Illmatic drop? 94? Back in that time, there was probably only a few new albums worldwide, or especially
coming out
in the
at once.
hip-hop genre, coming out at once. Maybe a few albums would drop every Tuesday. That was back in the day. Tuesdays is when music came out. And nowadays it's Friday for whatever reason. But back in the day, the Sam Goodies, your Blockbuster Music, your local mom and pop record shop, they would get their new shipments in and put the new music on the shelf on Tuesday. And how many different titles would come out? Not that many every week. It was like, you know what I'm saying? It just wasn't that many. So when something like Nas, Illmatic drops, all pop heads are aware of the few projects that dropped that week. And each album probably only 40 to 50 minutes long. So everybody can go buy this album, or if you didn't have it like that, you stole it off, or you know what I'm saying?
Right.
You would buy one project, your boy would buy the other, and you'd probably buy the cassette at the time. Maybe you bought the CD. But for the next few weeks, next few months, this is the album that you listen to. And that's how shit became classic, because the whole community listened to this one album.
Everybody
the
talking about
vast majority, damn near the whole hip-hop community, all your boys in high school or middle school, all the people in the club, all the DJs were talking and approving this one or two specific projects that the average hip-hop head was listening to Illmatic. He didn't have to be a super Nas fan or to fuck with Illmatic.
It was
And
just
everybody
somebody that
was bumping
appreciated
it in
hip-hop.
their whip. Exactly. And that was the talk of the town, because now let's fast forward the clock now to today's time, 25 years later. Instead of only 2 or 3 titles dropping a week, there are 2,000 or 3,000 titles dropping a day.
800,000 probably dropping a day. Like,
Exactly,
it's fucking
bro.
ridiculous.
And now, because of that, with the shit, there's so much floating around, and because we live in such a fast-paced society,
Yeah.
Jay-Z can drop 444, and we as the community, only a portion of us are listening to it. Because now we have so many options where it's like, oh, I fuck with this more emo type rap. Oh, I fuck with this more crazy Danny Brown-esque type rap. There's so many options. It's not like the whole community listens to this one thing, and we live in such a fast-paced society where it's like I'm getting hit with so much new music, and so much music is coming out at such a fast rate. It's impossible for the whole hip-hop scene to say, bam, this is the shit that we're all listening to, and we're all going to praise, and we're all going to put on a pedestal, and for the next 15 years, we're still going to be bumping this. Bro, I don't know if that's going to happen. The closest thing to that in recent memory was some Kendrick Lamar shit and J. Cole. And it's still it's not like Marvin Gaye. You know what I'm saying? It's not like Michael Jackson Thriller where you say, boom, this is going to be the soundtrack of our lives for the next 20
Now you talking about
years.
Forest Hill when he dropped that joint?
Yeah. Forest Hill
I
and the one
I'm thinking the other one, Forest Hill. Well, shit, not For Your Eyes Only, because that was during the time where it was like here and gone. We talked about it for like a couple weeks, then we was off it. Shit. I would just say Forest Hill, because after that, that's when we started. But that, and then I would probably even throw Good Kid, Mad City in there, because I was like,
that's the one I was talking about
okay.
Kendrick. That's my bad. My fault. I'm getting confused. Yeah, that's like. Other than that, my G, what, you know what I'm saying? Like, even Jay-Z, bro, one of the greatest, the GOATs of all time, got the album. And that 444 album, fuck what anybody says, is a dope album from beginning to end.
Oh, yeah, very
that
dope.
shit is sweet. Like, everybody, like, people fucked with it. And then all of a sudden, it was no longer a talking topic. Eminem dropped that Kamikaze shit. Everybody was saying how good it is, and how much it was reminding people of the young Eminem.
He was on that mug rapping.
You know, like everybody was saying, this shit is sweet as fuck. All right, yo, dog. After the whole like MGK kill shot shit, it's gone.
Yeah.
It's dead. Nobody like it's gone. When opposed to they dropped Takeover in the summer of 01.
That rolled the whole summer.
01. Then he's see how slow shit used to move, much more attention we would give one thing back in the day. And now our attention span is just not that, my G. And it's like, it's scary because you want to drop something that shifts like motherfuckers' souls, not even paying attention that deep. Yo, even Beyonce said in an interview, she's like, people ain't making albums no more. Because the record labels don't see the what's it called? What's the fucking word I'm looking for? The record labels no longer see
Like
what
the return on
they
investment?
gain from an album. They rather have you just crank out a single that's catchy as fuck that everybody's gonna dance to for the next 4 to 6 weeks, and then boom, what's the next single? Like, there's no reason to make a full album, a full body of work. And here's some crazy shit. I was just writing about this today for the blog that hit me up and wanted me to write an article. When I was in 9th grade, before we had social media and the internet on our cell phones and shit, listening to music used to be a thing you did. Just like when you would watch a movie. Now, music always just kind of background noise. So, how is an album going to be classic at a time when nobody walks into their living room? Exactly. How many people nowadays truly walk into their living room, pour a glass of wine or grab themselves a beer, roll a blunt, and sit on the couch and put an album on? And they just vibing out to the music. They're not playing on their cell phones. You know what I'm saying? They're not driving. It's just them and the music. People used to do this. This is normal back in the day. I used to come home from school. My mom like, yo, finish your homework.
Couldn't wait.
And you do the music. You feel me? Like, then I will go upstairs, put on Jay-Z Blueprint, and just lay on my bed and stare at it and let every motherfucking word my man was saying soak in my brain.
Yeah, man.
Yo, that shit don't exist no more. I don't think so.
If it is, hey, y'all holler at me and let me know, cause it's like,
I got some dope shit for you to listen to.
Yeah, man.
But it's I don't think it's like that no more, my G. Now we listen to music off our cell phones while we're texting people, while we're scrolling through our social media, and the music is just background noise nowadays, my G.
We got a tweet that we listening to it. I'm guilty of it. Like, oh yeah, about to check out this set.
Bam,
like,
I'm guilty of it.
Just cut it on and listen to it. Like, oh, I'm listening to track number 3.
Yeah. Exactly. You see what I'm saying? It's like, where do you disconnect from the world and just focus on the music? It's like when you go to a movie, they want you to put your cell phone away and you're supposed to be in tune with the movie. You know, we don't listen to albums like that no more. And nowadays the closest thing I think to that is when you're driving. And that's where I usually soak in all my music. Whether I hook up my radio to my phone or I pop a CD in and I'm on the road and I'm driving. And that's where 95% of my music listening, true listening to music, takes place. But when I'm at the crib, bro, and music is playing, I'm cleaning my house, I'm on the computer, I'm on Facebook, I'm writing emails, and I'm paying attention to what I'm typing. The music is just background noise, so it's not quiet.
Yeah, man, that's crazy, because I even got it set up to where I'm like, all right, I know if I want to listen to a podcast, I'm going to listen on my phone with my headphones in, and if it's an album that I really, really, really want to listen to, I'll listen to it when I get in the car. That shit's wild, man, opposed to like how you said, when you just excited to get home from school, like, I can't wait to play this album. Especially if you bought a new one. Oh, I can't wait to get home and just rip the plastic off this mug. Like,
rip the plastic off, put it in the CD player, and I'm going to sit on my bed and just listen to music. I had no phone, no electronics to play on. You know what I'm saying? It was just me. Or, like nowadays, even with the Walkman concept, my CD player could only do one thing, play CDs. So when I was walking around high school, I popped in a CD, DMX, Nas, J, D12, whatever, hit play, walk around, and that was playing. Now, when I'm, walking around in the city and I'm listening to music in my earphones, in my earbuds, I'm usually also doing other shit on my phone at the same time.
To do everything.
The attention span ain't there on music, bro. It's scary.
Yeah, man. I'm glad I ain't the only one that feel that way. I knew it was other artists that felt that way, but it's like having that conversation about it is like, see, it puts it at ease because it's like, okay, it's not just me. You know what I'm saying? It's like some got to get figured out, but it's like how? You know what I'm saying? Like how?
Man.
It's so just, much.
I don't know, bro. It's like it's the evolution of media, bro. Because at the end of the day, a lot of people we're always, as artists, we're always gonna think of music as like the way Beethoven thought of music, the way it's something special and magical, and it is. Don't get me wrong. At the same time, though, music is also, in another sense, just one other form of media and entertainment.
Yep.
It's so, you know, that in the reality of things too, it's also that. It's deeper to this. It's not on the street, just like a commercial on the TV. It's just a thing. It's disposable.
It's to sell the bigger product when it comes down to it. It's to really sell your brand, which is you at the end of the day.
Exactly. So that's why when I made this calendar on the wall and everything like that is how do I try to overcome this? Where it's like, how can I make my album still relevant 5 months old? You know what I mean? So me and Diego, my man, we got a couple ideas. I got a couple cool things to keep, I think I'm going to try, and I think they'll be successful in the way I plan on keeping the album relevant, keep it a talking topic, keep it reaching new fans and new listeners that probably don't know about me in 5 months from now, and just keep, you know, getting exposure to it and keeping this shit fresh, man.
Exactly, man. I appreciate you for coming on, like sharing this information. I'm going to have you back on, man. We're going to have to actually have a sit down and like just other minds in the room as well as talk about this same shit, man, like a part 2 or something. Yeah, man. We covered a lot, man. Definitely. But drop your socials. You know, I know you got the website. You always promote it. Let them know where you at. Where they can find you, man. They can cop some merch, man.
Yeah, it's your homie Valid. That's VALID, just like the word valid. All my social media is Valid313. Twitter, Facebook, Instagram. The website is even Valid313.com. Go on YouTube. Watch some dope videos at youtube.com/Valid313. The new album is out featuring Elzai, Jessica Caremore, Illa J. The name of the album is Mihajlo. That's my real name. It's spelled Mihajlo. It's streaming everywhere. That is my name. Mihajlo is my name too, but it's also the name of the album. It's on vinyl. It's on CD. We got t-shirts. Valid313.com. Holla at your boy.
We out.
Let me live out my dream. Let me live out as what I intended to be. If you doubt me, then I have probably seen. Why my success is not what you expected to be.